Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. I decided to add a part two to the parable of the sheep because I just get 10 minutes on this phone for recording, and I seem to need some longer time. It just like ended the last one, and I just needed a little bit more space and time. So we'll try this. We will try it. And for those who missed section or section one, I'll read it over again for you. Luke 15, 1 through like 7. um Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear him, but the Pharisees and the teachers in the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Then Jesus told them the parable. Suppose one of you had 100 sheep, loses one of them. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep till he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors. They get together and says, "Rejoice with me. I have found my lost sheep." I tell you, in the same way, there is more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. As we know, um, the statistics is 50% of Americans are Christian. Um, Half of them will get raptured. The other half will be left behind because they're not ready. Um, I think we could do better than that 20-25% that are going home. We're coming back. We're coming back with Jesus to help rebuild because, there'll be people here, survivors, and they will need aid. And we will just need a lot of hands on deck to, help them rebuild homes and things that they need. And um, so we're going to go out there and be rescued, and then we'll be coming back in a couple of years. There will be two raptures. The first one is at the beginning of the tribulation. So if you're pre-trib, you're going to feel comfortable with that. If you're post-trib and mid-trib, you'll be comfortable with that too, because there's one like 3.5 years later. But the real bad tribulation doesn't happen till the second rapture, and it goes on until Christ returns. And then we're talking about volcanic eruptions and war and earthquakes and crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy, fires, just prairie fires going all the way across the nation. Crazy stuff like that. That's called the tribulation. There will be survivors. Some people are very good at surviving. And I've been reading and looking at books on um, survival skills, things like that. Because I have a congregation, I'm responsible for them. And so this one, I highly recommend. I don't know if it's okay. It has, and I've showed this before to you. There's other ones out in the market that are like this, colorful, glossy pictures of. That's a chestnut on the front, by the way. You know your plants. You better know your plants. But there will be people that will be left behind, and um, there will be people very upset. They get to heaven, they don't find their mom or dad there. Um, their uncles and aunts, their best friend, they were left behind. And, or their puppy dog, that would really upset me. I insisted with God right away that those dogs are coming with me. And I love them. I just love them to death. They're like having children, really. And I imagine animals are saved. Animals go to heaven. It just because they are just themselves. They are just being themselves. As we know, sheep, if we talk about sheep, are not very smart. And they wander off and they get lost. And that's the nature of sheep. If you ever raise sheep, you just know. And that's why you have a herding dog around, a good herding dog. And I have two collies here. Pepsi? Pepsi. She's 14 now. Oh, here's Cody. Pepsi is 50. Come here. Come on. Can we see him? This is a collie, a smooth collie, and he is bred specifically just to herd sheep. That's a good thing for a pastor to have, right? Okay, and your friends or relatives, neighbors that don't know Jesus, make sure they do. This is like an emergency at this point. Christ is returning, he says, very, very soon, that he's at the door. So this is kind of an emergency. Make sure that you talk to them and be a good influence. People become Christians just because they know me. They just like osmosis. They just, they just know me, and they just apparently I impress them. I don't know why, but I do. And but anyway, there's certain things you can get, like make nice gifts. Like with Amazon, you could order little New Testaments that are free. Little skinny little New Testaments. There's also some for like $3 that says large print. I want you to see what they call large print. Okay? To me, that's not large print. That's normal print. But today they call it large print because when they print Bibles today, they print Bibles where I swear you need a microscope to read them. You don't want to give something like that to someone because they won't read them. They can't see them. They can't read them. This is what I've been reading for about 40 years. Same kind of print. It's called large print. Or giant print. This is called giant print. And the other one's called giant print. And I swear, this is called giant print. And it's not much different than the print of yesteryear. I'm disappointed. And I'm going to have to order one with, say, super giant print. Like for old people. I'm old. I need it bigger. I need it really big. And if I'm going to stand up in front of a congregation, I don't want to be stumbling and bumbling around like I usually do because I can't see this print anymore. It's too small. It's too small for me. Take that in mind when you buy somebody a Bible. You want to make sure that they can read it. And you can get good buys. Amazon has used books, like used Bibles. When you get a used Bible or a book from Amazon, it looks brand new. I mean, they're in that great of shape. They really are. And so it's a good investment. You can start a little Bible study in your home. That is, the house church thing is getting more popular. It's popular when I was a kid. That's what we did. The house church thing was popular when I was a kid, and that's what I do today. I've been doing this for 30 years. And so anyway, we will keep those people that I mentioned earlier in prayer. And keep certain people in prayer. And just talk to them. I'll invite them over for dinner and picnic or something, cookout. Just because you're a Christian, they'll be impressed. They'll be impressed with you. And so anyway, this is buzzing on down to that 10-minute mark now. And I'm going to have to sign off. And so, love you lots. Bye bye.